Welcome to the Naomi Show.
Hi there. Well, it's a bit of a different show today. I'm joined by a man who's actually my sales manager, Ranil Rajapaksha. And Ranil, you have a beautiful story. It's a beautiful romantic story. It's one that the guys don't like so much because it really raises the bar on romance.
Yeah, you're not wrong there.
But the girls love it, don't they?
They do. It's also, I guess, thanks for the opportunity as well for this. But it's, I guess, a great opportunity, I think, for me to tell all the guys out there that I think we've only got one shot at stopping traffic if we want to.
Yep.
And it's the day you propose. Hopefully we only ever have to do it once.
Yeah.
But, you know, I think a lot of us can be in a car in traffic and, you know, if we're late for a meeting and all of a sudden we look out the window and there's a guy proposing to his woman, you'd probably, you know, sit back and go, look, take your time,
Absolutely.
that's fine.
It's true, you would, wouldn't you?
Absolutely. You can call up a restaurant manager and say, listen, this is what I want to do. They will comply.
Yes.
So I think it's time that guys get a bit more creative and hopefully come up with some really good ideas in proposing.
So how did you do it? Now, firstly, you had to run the gauntlet with your now wife's father, didn't you?
That's correct, with the parents, yeah.
How did that go?
2 days before, I actually called the parents and set up a meeting. And I think they knew what was going on. So I ended up going down and asking the question. And it's really funny because when you do find yourself in that situation and when you say the words, you know, I'm asking for your daughter's hand in marriage, it almost takes your breath away because you only get that one chance to say it.
Yes.
Anyway, what was funny is my father-in-law started actually telling me about how he met his wife, which is my mother-in-law now. And this story went on for about 10, 15 minutes and he's looking around the room and he's not looking at me. So I'm thinking, oh no, this is probably not going to be a good start. So anyway, at the end of the 10, 15 minutes, he looked me straight in the eyes and he said, you have my blessing. And yeah, so it was a very emotional time, and you know.
Because I remember the first time you told me this story, you said you were just sitting there sweating.
Oh, I tell you what,
you're not the kind of person who gets nervous. You've gone into boardrooms all over the country.
Yeah. Oh, I tell you, it's
sweating.
And you're by yourself. You know what I mean? You're in the firing line. So yeah. Anyway, thank goodness he said yes. 2 days later, shall I get into the story?
Yeah, tell me it.
2 days later, basically, I knew she came home from work at a certain time, 7 o'clock. So what I did was I had the whole apartment blanketed out and curtains shut, and it was all dark. And I think it was about 175 candles lit up in the whole apartment. And there was a walkway as well from
How long did that take? 175
yeah,
candles.
Nearly burnt a couple of curtains, but that's another. That's for the blooper reel. And I had a pathway actually of candles from the door to the couch. And Tash comes in. So Natasha's my wife.
Yeah.
And she knocks on the door and opened it up, and she was, you know, just like, what's going on? So I said, can't say anything. So I took her bag, put it down, and we walked through this pathway, and we sat down on the couch where I took my guitar, which was next to me, and I wrote a song.
You didn't bring it today to sing this song.
No.
We'll get you back another time to do that.
And I basically wrote a song about our 4.5 years being together. And the last words of the song were, will you marry me? And yeah, it was pretty tough getting through that song.
Were there tears?
There were tears, yeah.
Oh, they're almost tears now.
Yeah, well, it took me twice to get through it.
Oh.
And I got down on one knee and, you know, proposed and said, will you spend the rest of my life with me and all that stuff.
Yeah.
And she said yes. And you know, I tell you, when a woman
Who could
says
say
that,
no?
well, but when you get that yes, at the end of the day, you still don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, you get hairs just standing everywhere, and you're just like, yes, you know, I did it. Anyway, we started hugging and jumping, and like most women, I think they need to tell someone straight away of such a beautiful event. So she wanted to speak to her sister. So I said, listen, you can go to the kitchen and talk to your sister, but when I tell you to get off the phone, you have to get off the phone. So she agreed. And there I am in the lounge room just looking at my watch, ticking down. Then I said, right, Tash, you need to get off the phone. Went to grab her, brought her into the lounge room, she hung up the phone. I put on the radio, and I had our song, which is a very cheesy Mandy Moore song, and it's called I Want to Be With You.
Oh.
And that's our song since 4 years ago. And yeah, we slow danced to that song. And she's just going, wow, this is amazing. And I'm like, yeah, thank you.
So
And
you had the DJ play it for you?
yeah, I rang up.
that's so cool.
Yeah, which was really cool. And again, you know, there again, people will do, you know,
Yeah.
will actually go out their way to do things to accommodate you. We finished dancing, and she said, wow, this is the best. And I said, you've got 20 minutes to get ready. And she said, what do you mean? And I said, you've got 19 minutes to get ready. So anyway, she ended up, I've never seen her, you know, get dressed so quickly. So she went into the room, and there's clothes flying everywhere. She ended up getting dressed, got in the car, and we drove to Western Hotel in the city. So I parked, and we ended up walking up the cobble pathway, and she's like, well, we're going to have dinner, we're going to spend the night. And I'm like, no, we're not. And I said, you see that? That's for you. And I had a horse and carriage waiting for us.
Oh, you thought of everything.
Yeah, it was perfect timing too. And we ended up getting up there, and we went to the botanical gardens. And we got to also remember that Tash is actually an asthmatic.
Yeah.
So during this time, wasn't the warmest weather, when it was a bit cold, and we had the top down. And she started using a puffer quite a lot. And when she used it 7 times,
Oh my God.
that's when I was like, right, there's something wrong. So anyway, we ended up stopping at Flinders Lane and Swanson Street, and I had to tap the driver on the shoulder and say, look, we have to hop off now. And when we hopped off, she's literally, I can't believe this is happening. So she can't breathe.
You almost killed her before you married her.
Well, that's when we found out she was actually allergic to horsehair.
Oh my
Yeah.
goodness.
So no more Melbourne Cups for us as well.
Yeah.
So we ended up getting off, and she's saying, I can't believe it. I said, look, it doesn't matter. We need you to breathe first.
Yes.
And we ended up going to the closest police station, where I told her to sit down and just stay calm. And I walked up to the police desk, and I knocked on the window, and I said, excuse me, I just proposed to my wife, and now she can't breathe. And it's funny because
You literally took her breath away.
and his name was Luke, and he looked at me and he goes, congratulations, oh my God, come out. And he comes out and gives us a hug, and I'm like, she can't breathe.
Yeah,
Let's
do
attend to her.
something.
Yeah. So what ended up happening is he said that we were part of his responsibility, so he had to call the ambulance. About 5 minutes later,
Yeah. Oh,
ambulance comes down and gives her a nebulizer and everything, and you know, they were making jokes like, you know, you proposed to her and you took her breath away.
Yeah, it's the
brilliant.
standard one.
Yeah, it was just brilliant. And I whispered to them, and I said, actually, there's something else that we need to do today before we actually, you know, call it off, as in finish off the day. And they said, right, no problem. So they got her all ready in about half an hour. She had the nebulizer on with, you know, she looked like Darth Vader. She looks beautiful in her dress.
All dressed up to go out.
Exactly. And at the end of that, basically, they said, look, we're around the corner anyway. Just give us a call if there's any problems. And where the horse-drawn carriage was supposed to take us was where we were going now. So we ended up walking up the road to Cafe La. Cafe La was actually the place I first took her out for our first date.
Oh, Renil, you thought of everything.
Yeah, and it's 35 floors up, as people might know, and it's a beautiful view of Melbourne. And what's really funny was I managed to get the restaurant manager to book the same table as we had our first date, and actually turn it the same way, so we had the same view. And I pre-ordered, but the chefs went home.
Oh, no.
So we ended up going up and having dessert, and there was 9 red roses and 1 white rose because she stood out of a crowd.
Oh, Renil.
And yeah, we just had some dessert and partied on with friends after that.
Oh, it's a beautiful story.
Oh,
it
thanks.
really is lovely. Thank you so much for telling it.
Pleasure, pleasure.
And I hope that's inspired you guys out there. I mean, if you can top Renil's story, I would like to hear it. And we'll see you next time.
Your love life, let's talk about it at naomishow.com.